Hi, Phil Iverson here in Chicago. This video is about late filing of tax returns. This comes up more frequently than some of you might imagine. Oftentimes when a tax return is not filed, there's a reason for it. Either the paperwork is not somewhere in the pipeline. The tax paperwork to prepare the tax return is not readily available. Sometimes it gets actually mixed up. The taxpayer can't find the right papers to prepare the return. Also, on occasion, when monies are due, and monies are due the IRS, sometimes the taxpayer, it's sort of like going to the dentist. You don't want to see it, so you put it off. But eventually, this is one of those things that it has to be dealt with. And I'll tell you why. The IRS, whenever you earn income, especially here in the U.S., the IRS receives a copy of that transaction. If you have a job and you get paid, with a check stub, you get a W-2. End of the year, the IRS gets a copy of that W-2, and it goes on their computer system, on your transcript. If you are paid on a 1099 as an independent contractor, I have seen a flock of these, by the way, the IRS gets a copy of that 1099, and eventually, if a tax return is not filed, they will send you a letter about it. This may take 2, 3, 4 years, and when it happens, in the unlikely event tax returns have not been filed for a number of years, you'll get the whole works from the IRS with different letters relating to different years. This very same thing happens when you sell stock. Nowadays, whenever you sell stock, your brokerage firm will give you actually it's a 1099, here I am an accountant, but the brokerage statement, that's actually a 1099 of sorts. But the IRS has a copy of your brokerage statement, and it lists the dividend income, the interest income, and the stocks that are sold. If by chance the brokerage statement does not have your cost basis for those stocks, it can get a little sticky in preparing their returns. But there's many different scenarios, even when filing business returns. I'm talking about corporations, standard C corporations, S corporations, partnership returns. These all should be filed on time, taking into account any extensions you have. And amongst the top reasons for filing a tax return on time, the penalties are for a personal tax return. It's 5% per month for the first 5 months that the return has not been filed from the due date, counting extensions, plus any interest on the return, as well as underpayment of tax penalties. Just the one failure to file, if it's gone 5 months, that's 25%. 5% for the first 5 months. 5 times 5, 25%. That's a lot of money. And these are relatively easy. It's not that hard to file a tax return. If do it yourself, or if you've got a good tax preparer let them handle it, man. They'll sort this out for you. If you are paid on a 1099, one of the reasons that this comes up, there's no tax that has been withheld. When you're paid on a W-2, monies are withheld from your check. Usually it's just about enough to pay your tax bill. But on a 1099, you're required to make your estimated tax payments. So what I've seen more than once, an independent contractor, they get a fairly hefty 1099, $50,000, $100,000, could be any number. But there's going to be a big bill for this. You're responsible for 100% of your Social Security. You know, if you're a W-2 employee, your boss splits it with you. As well, you've got nothing withheld unless you made estimated tax payments. But this is where it can get a little bit tricky. And those returns, you should file them and list all of your expenses, if you have them, for the production of that income. If, for example, you're a real estate agent and you work in a brokerage house, they give you a 1099, you had a good year, who knows how much you made, but you've got more than likely auto expenses, you've got monies for various licenses, monies for multiple listing service, perhaps some client entertainment. Get all of those items out, anything that you properly have coming to you, and put it on your Schedule C to lower your tax bill. The IRS is very easy to get along with regarding payment plans. If you're going to owe them a bunch of money, they can, give you a payment plan. 6 months usually is no difficulty at all, and you can get longer than that. There's a little bit of paperwork that can be filed, and you can have that extended. If you do get a payment plan with the IRS, please try to keep up with it, because if you have to renegotiate with them, it gets awkward. They're pushing for their tax money. If by chance someone does not have any money to pay their taxes, it is possible to sometimes get put on what we used to call CNC. That means currently not collectible. And essentially what that means is you don't have to pay anything right now. They put you on the back burner. So that gives a little bit more time. Finally, in the case where you owe a bunch of money and you can't pay it, but you can pay some of it, you may be able to get an offer in compromise. It's a fairly lengthy bit of paperwork to do this, but that if you're eligible for it, by all means, I think that's a good way to have the slate cleaned and to move forward. But all these tax returns should be filed on time, and paperwork for all of us, even me, I'm an accountant. It's a bit of a nuisance, paperwork. I've been in this business a long time, and it's rare to find someone who just loves paperwork. You'll dive into a box of papers or a bag full of papers or computer files and pull it all out and put something together. So the reason I mention that, it's understandable. Still, get your taxes filed on time and move on with other things with a clean slate. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hope this has been an informative video. Until next time.